Mr. Ezen Hekere, barrister. You're someone whose work I always follow. You won't know how closely I follow your work. So when you said you are doing this, I said I must be here, just coming straight from Lagos and straight to this place. Now the issue of, well, let me also stand on existing protocol. But there are many big men here. When he said he's reserving the best for last, as the left prof here, Omar Gageshon, we met them as party chairman. You know, there's a lot to say. Recently, Mr. Bill Gates was in this country, and he reminded us of the fact that we are not investing in human capital. He actually said that you guys, you are busy building so-called infrastructure, but you are not building your people. And he said that, you know, he said one thing. He said, do you know it's possible if you build your people, they will build that infrastructure. But if you build the infrastructure without building the people, they can't maintain that infrastructure. And he said something, you know, because his NGO, Bill Gates Foundation, is heavily involved in the health sector. He said something about nutrition, and that Nigerian, you know, children, you know, a very large proportion of them, maybe 30–40%, are suffering malnutrition. And when you go out on the street, you see that. You may not see that in this Abuja metropolis. Go to our suburbs. And we have many ghettos around Abuja here. Go to Aleta, Bushigoro, go to Yanya, go to Gishiri, go to Piri, go to... there's as many as 200 ghettos in this town. Shanty towns. And they're increasing. So, we're not investing enough in that human capital. He said that when the children don't get the nutrition that they want, he said their brain shrinks. And that was very novel to me, because he said when the brain shrinks, the children may not be able to perform at the same level as their counterparts in other countries. So how then do you intend to become the greatest this and that we always say we want to do, when we're not preparing our children for that? Anyway, but the second person I would also reference and quote, according to Walter Rodney. You see, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm an economist. But Walter Rodney, the author of How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, he defined economic development in a very curious way. Give or take, he said, a people will develop economically as they jointly increase, all right? As they jointly increase their capacity to understand the environment. All right, to understand the environment. He said this capacity will be defined by how much they understand the laws of nature, in bracket he put science, comma, and how much they develop tools, in bracket he put technology, and lastly he said and how work is allocated. So again, he's defining economic development in terms of how a people jointly increase their capability to master their environment. And if you think about it, let's think about the physical environment alone. A people will not be developed if they don't know that they have built their house on the floodplain, and that in rainy season, the flood is going to sweep all of their houses away. The more a people understand the laws of nature, the more developed they will become. The more they master the laws of nature. And not only to understand how it is, how it works, all the laws of nature, whether you're saying thunder is striking, whatever, what is, but you also have to develop tools. Let's look at this issue of thunder. I just mentioned thunder now. It's rainy season, thunder strikes. Where I'm from, in Yoruba land, they'll say that if thunder strikes and kills someone, they say the person is a thief. There was a very hilarious story. I can't go into that now. But you see, the white man actually kind of understands that law of nature more than we do. He says that when there's a thundering rain like this, don't stay under a tree. Don't stay in an open field. If you are going together or you are working together, separate yourselves. Give yourself distance. I've seen instances recently where thunder strikes, people are playing football and it kills all of them. It's not because they were thieves, because they disobeyed that law of nature. Maybe they were just unlucky as well. Alright? However, it's also important to develop the tools. The tools, which is the technology. The third aspect about how work is allocated is also very important, but not within the purview of this discussion. So our focus in ANRP, where I represent Abundant Nigeria, all right, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, ANRP, that's the name of my party. The name is a bit better than Better Nigeria. People's Party. So if we give you Better Nigeria, we will give you Abundant Nigeria, where everybody will have abundance in everything. He can give you a better Nigeria, better than APC, better than PDP. But we will give you an abundant Nigeria, but redefining the scope as it were. So thank you very much, Paul. So you see, so our focus is, when we talk about health in ANRP, our focus is clearly on the environment. And this is because from our studies we realize also that the biggest achievement in public health in the whole of Europe, and you probably say in the world, is the cleaning up of the water systems of Europe. Until they were able to clean up that water system, the water table of Europe, they used to suffer from bubonic plague, the black plague, that plague, and there were times when millions of people would die. As a matter of fact, we're living in very good times if you compare it with those days. Because at least there's a kind of technology flow down here, as well as our own. Indeed, the reason why we're sitting here as a people today is because our ancestors also understood the environment within their own way. I don't believe they understand it as much as the other people these days, it's true. But they had their own chemistry. They had their own, some sort of biology. They understood a bit about that. I've seen on Facebook or even on YouTube where they did a surgery. It was very crude. But black people way back, actually it was like in the 1940s. The split open people said, and did some kind of operation, put some leaves and cover the back. It looked very ghastly, really, truth be told, very ghastly. So I wouldn't say we're at the same level as this, but they understood everything. And many things were taken from here and taken abroad, turned into products and brought back. Coca-Cola, for example, as a drink. Coca-Cola actually contains, the initial recipe is coca leaves from which cocaine is made, and cola nuts. That's why it's called Coca-Cola. You can research it as well. The same cola nut was taken from these parts and then they extract something from them because they know that cola nut, they call it, it started out as the head medicine. If you are feeling a bit groggy, you take Coca-Cola. That time it will be 3 spoons in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night, and you'll be all right. So that's it. So we also have our own this thing, which we can also develop. But so when we talk about health in ANRP, we talk first of all in terms of public health. We have many challenges. As I'm talking to you right now, perhaps there's only one radiotherapy machine in the whole of Nigeria. They'll tell you, the one in National Hospital is not working. You have to go to University of Sokoto, it seems as if one is working. There are people who fall sick, and then you start carrying them, 180 million people. One public machine for radiotherapy is a disaster. Okay, so this is a very important thing. So the whole idea is, first of all, we have to clean up our environment. And we are very big on environment. I hope I'm not stopping.
Just a minute.
Please, give me more time. Sorry, sir. So we're very big on the, you are disturbing me 2 minutes. Alright, so we're very big on the environment, and that's where we're going to start from. Public health is very, very key. However, this is very important as well, that the way we allocate funds, as a matter of fact, sitting down there, I'm looking at the backdrop, the work that CSJ does, public finance management. How are we managing our public finance? Public political finance reform. In 1984, when General Buhari came, he jailed some governors simply for using public funds to finance their party. But in 2018, it seems as if it is just normal that people should take funds and use it to finance political parties. Even he is not complaining anymore. But the truth is that the funds that are used to finance parties are the funds that should have been used to provide health services for our people. If you want to solve the health problems of this country, aside from getting people to take care of the environment properly, the next thing you need to do is to ensure that public funds meant for the health sector is spent on the health sector. Just last week we got that the government is borrowing $150 million to eradicate polio. But in that same last week, the deputy governor of Kano resigned, Kano State resigned, and the governor, the sitting governor, decided to publish the man's expenses the next day in Daily Trust. And he was showing us, he said, look, the man is contrary to his complaint that he hasn't been given his allowances. These are the allowances. Now we can see the allowances: travel to this place 10 million, travel to France 15 million, travel for Hajj 19 million. So just a minute, sorry, I'm coming. So this is very, very important in terms of the allocation of funds, because again, I'm an economist and resources will always be scarce. If you want to fix the health sector, you have to be very careful how you allocate funds. Lastly, the man is standing on my neck.
As a presidential aspirant, I think you should obey the law.
As a presidential aspirant, I think you should also afford me. Seriously, actually, I have three.
No, you have more politics.
Just a minute.
You have more politics.
Just a minute. The last thing I wanted to say, one of the things that CSJ stands for is rights enforcement. And one thing we seem to forget in Nigeria is this very central to us in the Section 2, the entire Section 2 of the Nigerian Constitution deals with the rights of the average Nigerian. We are forgetting this. It talks about how the government should take care of its people. And I'm not a lawyer, but I've heard some of my lawyer friends say that Section 2 of the Nigerian Constitution is not justiciable. And I'm wondering why. They said they taught them in law school that the Section 2 is not justiciable. That's the most relevant section to the average Nigerian. It tells the government should provide for the health of the people, provide for even pensions. Now we have NHIS, which somebody mentioned earlier, which has become a slush fund. Just last week we saw news that the DG and the other directors are accusing themselves of embezzlement. Just like you have NSITF, slush funds. So, to a large extent,
okay, so I'm going to.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm going to stand on.
Thank you very much. When I become president, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to stand on the executive protocol that you said. Please go with the microphone. I will start with you. Just to show that you have more time.
Thank you.